another bang. All the Mars and cars now, with your bag it up. Light up my card with a sweet one bliss. Someone flicks me a bag it up. Say, oh, it's another one. It's another one, yeah. It's a full strong, yeah. Oh, it's another one. It's another one, yeah.
What's going on, people? Welcome into another episode of the Stay Weighed In show, presented to you by iBoxingHub in partnership with D-Rock Clothing. As always, guys, you know the score. If you want to support the channel, head over to D-Rock's website, type in the promo code iBoxingHub24, get yourself 40% off. You can get your merch like this. No, wait, there we go. Unfortunately, not without this particular thing, but you see the jacket, you see everything. With that being said, I'm joined by my man Ray. Ray, how you doing?
Not as late overnight, but somehow still tired. How about yourself?
I'm with you. I'm tired, but I don't know why. But I think it's because of the sun. I'm gonna blame the sun for this.
I'm happy the sun's out. Finally out. We didn't really have spring. We had autumn.
Yeah.
Version 2, and then straight into sunny weather. So yeah. I'll work with it.
It's a big fight week. It's fight week for the biggest fight I think in boxing right now that you can make. But before we go into that fight, I want to just gloss over what we saw on the weekend with Lomachenko and Kambosos Jr. Fighting for the world title. Just give me your thoughts on Lomachenko's performance, winning another world title. Obviously, a lot of people saying it's at the twilight of his career in terms of age and stuff, but again, putting on another star-studded performance. Is it just hearsay that he's in the twilight of his career, or do you think it's factually true?
It's a techie one because one, I'm happy just like the week of boxing we've had to start obviously with Inoue. Shout out to Top Rank because to start with Inoue Neri and then cap it off with Kambosos versus Lomachenko is a techie one because people saying that Loma's in the twilight of his career, but he's only lost to the best. People make it seem like Loma was out here getting outclassed by people he shouldn't be. Although, I mean, you might argue that they feel like Haney is not better than him. However, he only lost to like 2 pound for pound greats in Teo and Devin. So I guess age-wise, he is in his twilight. But ability-wise, I don't think he ever lost it. I just think he just came up against tough opponents. So this fight was just a reminder of like who he was and on the main stage, and shout out to Kambosos as well because I saw a lot of people like going at him, other American fighters making fun of him, and I was just like, you lot can make fun of him. I've never seen someone maximize a victory quite like Kambosos has, and at the end of the day, the way I see it, this is no disrespect to him. This is a B-side guy who was brought in as a mandatory, and everyone just thought that, Teo was going to roll over him. He beat Teo in a brilliant fight. He became unified champion. Was it 2 or 3 times now? He's sold out.
3 times. He's done
3
twice.
times.
Now
wait, the second fight with Haney, was that stadium or arena?
Arena. That was arena.
Yeah, but even so, 2 stadium fights and 1 big arena sold out in Australia. Pay-per-view as well. What a cash out.
I was going to say, it's interesting you said that because normally you see fighters, even though they win the title, like you said, because he was more of a B-grade fighter, they still have to do the hard yards in terms of, okay, Haney's the biggest star, so we'll go fight in America. He's done the flip. He's actually been given the opportunity to constantly fight in his home country in Australia and stuff. So I'm with you. I think in terms of cashing out, you've never seen a bigger cash out in recent boxing times where being the B-grade fighter has helped you because you've just got the popularity in Australia. And I think it's that niche of being a world champion in Australia.
Yeah.
That because there isn't anything there, and also the attraction of the division, it just helps. And it's like, yeah, well, let's just fight in Australia. It makes sense. But I think I want to just quickly gloss over what should make sense going forward with Top Rank and Lomachenko, Shakur Stevenson, etc. In terms of the gradual progression of what we're meant to see in 2024, even 2025, the fights are there. All guys have the belts. Are you expecting us to see them or not?
No, only because Shakur is coming up to the last fight in his top rank contract. After July 6th, he's done with top rank. Bob Arum has said that he would like to do Shakur versus Loma. However, if you've seen Shakur's tweets, he's not too happy with top rank as a company.
Yeah.
I think he says something along the lines of Bob wants the fight, but he's basically saying Bob's just a face of it. He's not the company no more. So Bob wanting a fight doesn't mean that will actually happen. And I think there's another. So here's the funny thing is, 3 of the 4 world titles could be at top rank right now. Loma's got one, Shakur's got one, and there's another fight, Navarrete versus someone else. Apologies, I'm forgetting the name.
Yeah.
For a
I think it's WBO for that one.
Potentially.
Yeah.
But all on top rank. And obviously Tank is about to face Frank Martin for WBA. This is where it gets tricky. Shakur becoming a free agent, he's already stated that he's not too happy with top rank at the moment. Do I believe that Shakur will get a fair shake at PBC?
No.
I don't think so. And I don't know if Tank fight will happen straight away. And if it doesn't happen straight away, we've always seen with PBC guys, when it comes to activity, they're not the most active roster, which is annoying for a lot of the fighters. So I don't know where Shakur goes next. I just saw him complimenting Eddie Hearn the other day, saying, say what you want about him. That guy goes to bat for his fighters. So I don't know, but here's the thing as well. If he goes to Matchroom,
he's stuffed.
That way.
It's like what we say about Teofimo Lopez, where he's on an island by himself. Yeah. It would genuinely be the same for Shakur Stevenson. I think one thing you said about Eddie and going back with Boots Ennis and seeing what will happen with PBC to Matchroom and seeing his debut and what's that going to do for him in Philly. I think it is in Philly, isn't it, if I'm not wrong?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. So I think that could be a small indicator for Shakur to be like, oh, that's what they're doing over there.
Oh, yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of eyes on that.
Let me get a piece of that pie. The only problem is by getting that pie, you cannot dip your fingers in anywhere else because these guys won't want to fight with you. That's the frustrating part of it. With that being said, I know we've glossed over what we've seen over the weekend. I do want to talk about what's going to happen next week. The biggest fight in boxing, as we can see, Tyson Fury, Oleksandr Usyk, all 4 belts on the line. His Excellency's Undisputed title on the line as well. We cannot forget that one. So it's 5 belts. Was Tyson's 6 belts, because you can want to put the lineal title on the line as well. You can put everything on the line.
Yeah.
The first question to you is, are you surprised we are even here?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Listen, man, His Excellency stepped into the game and he said, we are making this happen by fire or by force. And man, what a guy. He has really come in and just said, listen, we're really going to make this happen. And credit to him, man, because I think boxing is always needed. It's always been a lot of time, despite all the the headline money that's always in boxing. Oh, AJ made 50 mil, Canelo made 40 mil, whichever. The anomaly is not the rule. So I think a lot of people keep on thinking there's all this money in boxing. So a lot of the times, like, you have promoters fighting over. We saw it happen in play out in real life. It's like Tyson was saying 60-40, then 70-30. And then Usyk still accepted it, and it was just like, no, I want like more, even though it's stupid. So His Excellency basically came in and said, listen, make the fight. Everyone's getting paid. I don't want to hear no excuses. So now that everyone's getting paid, the fight's going to be made.
I think one thing you said about him coming in, which has been amazing, is even though we got all these guys, we got the WBO, we got the IBF, we got the it's not there, and I'm not saying it will be there, but it feels like His Excellency is looking over boxing, and he's like,
oh, for sure.
If you don't want to make the fight, I will find a way to make the fight, and then you will agree to that because the money is going to be there, and I can make it. And then it's kind of a case of like, just like how we got kind of with the UFC, where look, Dana runs over everything. in this particular case, even though we can't officially say it, it's leaning on that where it's like he's slowly making the fights that everyone wants,
I
and also
mean,
the cards.
the only difference is these are actually getting paid what they're
Yeah,
worth.
yeah,
So
yeah,
that-
100%. Yeah.
yeah.
I want to go on strengths and weaknesses of both guys because I'm more in the Team Fury camp, and I want to say you're more Team Usyk.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
so for you in this particular fight, what do you think Usyk needs to do to win?
I think they stick to his game plan, movement. He knows he's not the bigger guy. Big boxing combination, come from the southpaw. He knows how to like deal with like taller, bigger people. Obviously, I don't know if he's dealt with someone as big as Tyson Fury. However, from the repertoire that Usyk's shown, he's not, he's more than capable of adjusting. Very smart fighter, very agile. Like I said, box from the southpaw. And I think with Fury, he has shown a weakness to significantly smaller guys and them being southpaw as well. I think one of his bigger bouts that he was close to like a lot of danger. Forgive me, I've forgotten the fighter's name. Was a cruiserweight, and then he was like, I think Fury even admitted himself, like the cruiserweight, he was giving him trouble. And then the irony is, you kept on calling all the things that you struggled in that fight. You've called Usyk, so let's see if Tyson's really learned from it. But then also at the same time, is also a case of Tyson Fury himself would admit that he's not always lived a life of a boxer who's like had to keep in shape and everything. I've also said, and this is my theory, that when he dropped out of the fight, he wasn't in shape. That's what I think. Steve Cunningham, that's the one that just came to me. Steve Cunningham, I believe. Yeah. So when Tyson Fury dropped out, maybe the cut was good timing, but I also believe as well, he definitely wasn't in shape because he's done that a few times. He's done it a few times. I don't care what anyone says. He's not been in shape, and somehow an injury has miraculously come up, and he's been like, "Oh no, I need more time," and then he's been in shape. And I feel like that's gonna catch up to you at one point because you can't keep on cheating the system of not being in shape, having to take more time and to get into shape. And I think this might be the time where it's just like, yeah, it's time to cash out. You can't keep on doing that. So I think Usyk's gonna get undisputed.
Now, this is why I'll make my case for Tyson. Then we'll talk about the court and just going forward as well in terms of training. I look at Tyson Fury and I look at Usyk and I think whatever Usyk is, Tyson Fury is that, but just a little bit more. He's also slicker. He's also slick. He may not necessarily be as quick as Oleksandr Usyk, which is fine. But I think what he has to do, I think is an interesting point because I think when I spoke to Adi, he made a similar point. He goes, he needs to overpower him. You do not want to match the speed. What you need to do is basically lean on him, showcase the fact that you are this big natural heavyweight instead of that cruiserweight coming forward. I think one of the things I look at with Tyson Fury is he's not a sitting target. He will still move with Oleksandr Usyk. So there is that element of that with him. And on the other side of things as well, the body is there. Like I know a lot of people make a big deal about the court, and it's there for a particular reason, which we can talk about. But I think what you've seen is Usyk is also sustainable to body shots. And I think when you look at Tyson Fury again, that will be something they will narrow in on. His previous fight, Oleksandr Usyk, was knocked down with a body shot. They said it was low, subjective. He has said.
What I will say though is, has Tyson Fury got the same power as a Dubois to do
no,
that?
he doesn't.
Execute that?
But do you know what he does? He has the ability to take 2, 3, 4, 5 punches in a row to be able to do it. Whereas he's not a one-shot knockout artist compared to other fighters. I think Usyk's fought in the heavyweight division. But what he is able to do is do punches in bunches. And I think when that happens, I think and on top of that, feeling Oleksandr Usyk, if that makes sense. And you need pause on this. I need Tyson Fury to make himself go on top of Oleksandr Usyk, make him feel weight. And with that being said, I think he will overpower him. And I'm looking at a motivated Tyson Fury. I think that's the one thing, like you said, he cheats his way in boxing, because of what he's able to do in terms of being in the division that he's. I do not think he's cheated himself in this particular camp. So I
He
do.
has no choice. Let's not forget. Was it the MMA Hour episode when? Was it the MMA Hour or a different platform? And in Turkey's literally sitting right next to Tyson.
Oh yeah,
And he's just like,
100% goes.
if you get injured again, you're in big trouble. And that was like a proper. That felt like being in school, and you got that one troublesome kid that, like, you know, gives hell to all the like normal teachers, and then that senior teacher steps into the room and they're like, oh, I've messed up.
I can't
And
do
you're
this
just
one.
sitting there. Yeah, you just sit. You always see that troublesome student like they're sitting there like, I'll bit off more than I can chew. So I don't get me wrong. Do I think he's motivated? Yes, but do I also feel like he knows deep down? Because have you noticed this is what people haven't realized as well? All them silly mind game antics that Tyson Fury is used to playing, he's had to cut it out because His Excellency's basically said, listen, not even His Excellency, the
I think he's just
severity of the occasion has shown him, cut it out. You are not in a position to play around with the public no more.
No, see, with that being said, is that not just highlighting a new level of focus for Tyson though?
No. New level of, do you know why I say no?
Okay.
New level of focus would be if it wasn't for the fact that you're not doing this under the circumstance of it's different. If you never done this before the Wilder fight, if you never done this before other important fights, then fair enough. It's the fact that Turkey's involved. So I can't call it new level of focus when you've been forced to do it. Do you get what I'm saying? For
I
me,
hear it.
I mean, actually, no.
I
I think
hear
wait,
it,
let
but
me
I
rephrase.
disagree with it. I disagree with
Two
that.
things can be true at the same time. Yes, you are right, actually. It is focus. However, let me rephrase what my point is. The stimulant for the focus is different. It's not a focus from self-discipline. It's a focus from if I do not behave, this is big money that can get taken away from me. So I don't know. I won't call it it's focus, but it's not self-discipline focus. It's focus from the point of consequences.
And one thing I will say is because like I said, because of that one press conference that was it, His Excellency Turkey, he's invested in Tyson Fury.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's actually invested in Usyk, but
I think you're absolutely incorrect.
I think he's invested in Usyk from the point of view of him being that challenger for Tyson Fury. But I think going forward, he is fully invested in Tyson Fury. So, as you said, that level of focus, I think it's a new level of focus in terms of the occasion. But I'm with you with the point of who the guy behind it all is. And it's like, if Turkey's invested in me, I can't let him down, because if I let him down, whatever's lined up, it will still be lined up, but it won't have that same oomph about it, that same zip, because now it's going to be, okay, it's Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury, but it's not the lineal heavyweight champion. You can't push it as well as you could do if
I can't.
Tyson Fury becomes champion.
Do you know what? I agree with you to a certain extent. Where I would disagree is I don't think he's in, because the way I look at it, from the matchups that he's made to me and you have alluded to it before, Turkey's definitely a wrestling fan because of the way that he's done certain things. I think His Excellency is just more a big fan of the sport who's just in a situation where he's playing like real life football manager. He's like just made himself the promoter and just said, listen,
He really is the promoter. If we really
but
deep,
basically,
he's the
but
promoter.
what I mean in terms of that is, I think he genuinely wants to see who the best is. That's why I get what you're saying about Tyson Fury. I think he wants to see the best out of Tyson Fury because he just wants no excuses. But I don't think he's more invested in a way of like what you were saying about Usyk, because either way, the way I look at it is he just wants to know who's the best. Just like any other fan, he just wants to know who is the best fighter. I'm sick and tired of all these politics stopping the fights. Who is the best fighter? Let's find out. And then on the UK front, do you know what I learned from Kell Brook and Amir Khan? Remember before that fight, you kept on
Doesn't
telling
matter. It
no,
doesn't
yeah,
matter. It doesn't matter when it happens. It's if it
absolutely.
happens, everyone's interested.
You was telling us all in the group chat, and I remember at the time saying, I don't care for this fight. It's whatever. And you just kept on saying at the time, you will care. I remember after that first press conference, I had to apologize and I said, listen, I'm all aboard, man. The fight was way past its due date.
Oh, yeah.
However, especially with before, I used to always think that Riyadh season was strictly going to be in Saudi Arabia, but the way Turkey's moving right now, he is okay with hosting big fights abroad as well. So I think he's okay with doing Joshua first, Fury, Wembley, and then we'll see. But here's the only techie thing. We're going to have to wait another year.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Because they're going to do the rematch between, which is annoying, but they're going to do a rematch between Fury and Usyk.
And also, Joshua's going to fight at Wembley. I reckon 99%. They've basically said it as well, that he's going to fight. But I don't
think... IBF.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll be for the IBF. I don't know who it's going to be. They might run that. They may run a Deontay Wilder thing, depending on how he performs against Zhang. I'm not sure about that. But yeah, Joshua's going to fight. But yeah, that'll be a 2025 particular fight myself. But yeah, like you said, if it happens in the UK, it can happen 2 years. It could be the final fight of their careers. Whatever it is, it will always gauge that level of interest. Even though from the start we'll say, no belts on the line, we're not really fussed type of thing. Both guys may have lost 2 fights, but we'll be interested. I do want to touch on something quickly. And look, I said about Usyk and his body shots, but then we've also got this little, the whole idea of the cut. And I say little, but reality, seeing it in person, it might be healed up. But you know, when you see the visibilities of a scar, it's got that lump. That's what I could see with Tyson Fury. Like, you could see that's where the cut was.
Yeah.
How much of a target will that be? And then also following up on that, the fact that we've seen him now being cut, we've seen him bleed against someone like Otto Wallin. How much will Team Usyk be looking and thinking, look, he's actually quite vulnerable when it comes to boxing and being able to be a target?
I think it'll be fine, only because I think with Fury, he's always had scar tissue. So it's not a case of like, it's this newfound discovery that he bleeds around those parts. I don't think they'll be aiming for it. I think they'll take advantage of it if it comes up. But I can't see them being like, that is going to be our main aim, is to like look to open him up. I think Usyk is too skilled of a fighter to have to resort to that as his main plan. Don't get me wrong, will they take advantage of it if the opportunity comes? Absolutely. I just don't think it will be a case of going into the fight, they're like, all right, cool, let's open a cut. I just think he's going to, the way Usyk is so versatile, I think he'll just be like, if the opportunity is there, take it. But if not, just go there and then do what you need to do to get the win. Stick to their plan, go in there, beat him, and then Riyadh become undisputed, and then that's it.
I'm going to ask you this before I get your final predictions. For both fighters, if they win, where does it rank them in terms of the heavyweight rankings of all time?
I'm not being biased when I say this. Actually, I don't care what I sound like.
You can be biased.
This is what it is. Yeah. At the end of the day, it will be greater for Usyk than it will for Fury, only because Usyk's already been undisputed at cruiserweight. So for him to do what Evander Holyfield couldn't do and be undisputed at heavyweight and cruiserweight, that launches Usyk to a whole nother stratosphere. Same for Fury. I think it'll put a cap on who was the greater out of him and AJ, because like I've always argued, they're 1A and 1B. No one's resume has outshone the other significantly for me to put one on top of the other. However, people, please be aware, despite what happens, none of these guys are greater than Lennox Lewis, and that's all that matters.
I hear it. No, I'm with you on one thing. I think the accomplishment is significantly greater if Usyk does it because of, like you said, and also because of Tyson Fury's comment saying he's a ballooned up cruiserweight. He's nothing. So if you're dismissing him actually transitioning over to heavyweight as still a cruiserweight, then that accomplishment is bigger. But also, I think it separates AJ and Fury.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
for
personally,
sure.
for me, it will separate AJ and Fury. Where now, if and when Fury and AJ fight, AJ can't be the A side on this on the billing. It has to be Tyson Fury because of what he will have accomplished that AJ wasn't able to do in 2 fights against Oleksandr Usyk.
Yeah.
Final thing then, before we wrap up, what your prediction? Are we talking points, stoppage? How is this fight going to play out for you fully? And yeah, just give me the final conclusion.
Points by Usyk.
Do you know
Points or cut stoppage?
Okay, I'm going with a stoppage for Fury. I think Fury stops him. I think when I say he stops him, I think he drops him around about 2 minutes left in, let's say, like around 10. Then what you're going to get is not knockout power or anything like that. He's going to drop him with the body shot, then follow up with, like I said, a lot of punches, quick ones, some hitting, some not, off the high guard. And then what you'll just see is the ref being able to see that Usyk is not able to defend himself or not retaliating. We're going to get the cut stoppage. We're going to get a song in Saudi Arabia. And Fury will be undisputed. And yeah, he'll be able to talk his talk for I don't know how many more years we're going to have of him left.
I hope not. For the good of the universe, I need this. This is like a. Is this the? I'm trying to think. Is this the end game or Infinity War? Either way, I need Usyk to be the Tony Stark of this. I need Usyk to be the one to end this. Like, just get all the belts and scatter them after. But we shall see.
I'll just quickly say that just one. You see how Canelo holds onto the belt, so you've got a problem with it, which is fine. Do you think Fury would ever do that, or is it just like, look, let me just get the recognition and just throw him away?
Fury is absolutely Listen, if Fury gets undisputed, he's taking an AJ fight, then he's cashing out, and that's it. He's done. I don't think the difference is with what Canelo's doing is that he wants to stick around and still do the whole undisputed thing without facing the top contenders. Even if Fury, let's say Fury went on to beat AJ, yeah, and he wants to carry on, he's definitely dropping the belts. I don't think Fury will want to be held hostage by, because look at the way that he's been able to control his own narrative with just the WBC and the lineal. I think he enjoys that. I think he enjoys just like the freedom of, I don't need this belt, that belt, because we all saw the frustration with AJ when he was facing Usyk the second time. Obviously, it wasn't his best moment, but his conduct towards like throwing the belts and everything, it was because he kept on getting pulled in different directions by all the organizations where it's just like, you lot are taking the piss. No matter what I do is not enough. It's like, let me face this guy, that guy, that guy. And it's just like, he faces all the best. And then he didn't always get the best treatment from a lot of the boards. And I feel like Fury probably saw what happened with AJ and was just like, nah, you lot ain't doing that to me. If I get undisputed, I will drop the belts as soon as I get my biggest paydays.
I think the one thing I'll say is, before we do wrap up, is I think the only belt that really matters to him is that Ring Magazine lineal title.
Oh yeah, the lineal, yeah.
I don't think he cares about anything else. The rest is, I'm here, I've got him, but I just want to keep that particular title.
This goes back to our Canelo situation. This is what I want Canelo to do. I want Canelo to just have because the WBC is basically wrapped around his finger. Yeah. Keep the WBC, keep the lineal, just drop everything else. Drop all the other belts. And then if you want to face people after for it, then fair enough. But just don't hold things hostage. But let's not sidetrack.
Let's not sidetrack. Look, guys, we've got our predictions. Let us know yours. That was a bit of a tongue twister. I don't know why I struggle with that. Look, the rest of the guys will also be putting out a lot of Fury versus Usyk content as well. So hop on their live shows as well. Get involved in all the conversation. Make sure, as I always, like, share, subscribe. constantly with you guys' support. We're growing each day as well. The watch-alongs are growing as well. The lives are growing. The sub count is growing, and that's what we want to see. And also support D-Rock Clothing, iBoxingHub 24. Get yourself 40% off. Until next time, Ray. Love and appreciate you for jumping on. This time next week, we will know who is the main man at heavyweight, unless it's a draw.
And the new undisputed champion.
We're gonna cut there because we can't.
We don't know who.
If it's a draw, I'm just going to be annoyed. But yeah, we're going to let that slide. We're going to let that Usyk comment slide. Until next time, guys. Stay